I'm getting started as a brand new insurance agent next week. No experience at all. Do you have any advice? Number one, like I said, the number one is go all in. Don't have a plan B. If you have a plan B, if you have an insurance policy, then you're not fully convinced. It's weird thinking like that, but you have to. There shouldn't be an exit or an off ramp. This should be your last career ever. You should be thinking like if you're in a good kind of thought experiment would be like if this is the last job I'd ever had, and if I don't do it, I have to like go broke, live on the streets, be hungry. Like, what would you do if that's what you're faced with, right? Um, that kind of it's extreme thinking, but that kind of extremist thinking is necessary to have some level of success beyond the mediocre in anything in life. So really think about like, what would you do if you knew that's what was going to happen? And that's probably how you should actually run your business. Okay. The second thing is really vet the agencies that you're looking at joining. Make sure that they have a track record of success, that they're going to train you to sell successfully. Because the one takeaway of this business, even if you're not successful at it, like a good agency will teach you how to take people's money that were otherwise strangers 30 minutes ago. And that's a skill set that can apply to anywhere in life, whether it's here or B2B, another industry altogether. If you can take somebody's money, and they're happy to give it to you, but an hour ago they thought you were a scam. That is a skill. You won't ever go hungry if you have that skill, and it will always be in demand regardless of the state of the economy, whether AI is taken over or not. Like there needs to be people that are ambitious and hungry and able to convince people to hand their money over. Okay. So look for an agency that can teach you how to do that. And then the track record of success. And I think just, give yourself, be humble and honest with yourself. You are going to suck starting off. It's okay. You're going to be terrible. Expect that's the case. Come into it with the realization that I am terrible at this business. And be okay with that in so much that you're open to how you can get better. When someone gives you advice in this business, even if it's harsh, it sounds harsh to you. Understand it probably isn't. If you're in a good agency, it's not. And actually take it and apply it, even if you don't quite understand why you should apply it and what its impacts are going to be. The best thing you can do is just basically carbon copy successful people and take your brain out of the equation. Some people this happens with higher IQ people. They're sometimes too smart for their own good. They overthink when they should just apply without necessarily having understanding. We call this a leap of faith. So all of these things are really important. And remember, 95% of agents fail in this business in the first year. 19 out of 20 people watching right now, if they're all new, which I know not all of them are going to fail. That should not sit lightly with you. That should motivate you to doing these kind of things that I've talked about, because you don't want to be a statistic and fail. And the good news is that if you just survive this business, you kind of figure stuff out. You end up making really good money. You end up having the lifestyle that is promoted at all these places at some point in the future. It took me I failed out after 12 months, just to give you a short trajectory for me. I failed out after a year. I came back after I got a real job and realized how much of a dead end that was. I then took the next year selling part-time for the second time before I went full-time. And I really didn't feel like, my wife told me this. She said, we did an interview, if you want to dig it up, put in like David DeFord wife. It's a really good interview. If you've got a spouse that's like, thinks you're crazy for wanting to do this, that's an excellent video. It's a couple years old now, but still fundamentally really good. But I remember my wife said, she felt like we were really getting ahead. I think when we moved out of our house on Thomas Lane and moved to Faulkner, it was a much bigger house, a bigger yard. We were in a nicer area in town. And it felt that way for me. When I had 50 grand in the bank, I was like, man, and I paid off all my credit cards. Man, I felt good. I was like, this is living. That yoke on your back was removed, right? So, but it took 5+ years to get there. So it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. And stick with it. despite wanting to quit. I certainly wanted to quit many times. So.